We bring in Neil Hennessy, portfolio manager of the Hennessy Focus 30 Fund, and Jim Hardesty, president of Hardesty Capital Management. This is a classic day, Neil, where investors make mistakes. They sell at the lows, they panic. What would a guy like you be doing with his computer screens in front of him and money to use?
Boom, there it goes, minus 500.
The first thing I should have done is booked this show last week. But essentially, if you look at what's happened, people are just absolutely scared. And the Greece situation isn't helping it. People are looking back, and it's so fresh in their memory, Liz and David, that 2009 March, they were down 60% on their money, and they're absolutely paralyzed, and they're just getting out. And you can see it happening. Is our economy in good shape? Yes. Are the companies making money? Yes. Are they hiring? No. Is the economy going to pick up great steam in the short term? No, not until we get clarity out of Washington, because we need to know as businessmen and women what our taxes are going to be, what our rules and regulations going to be, what's health care going to cost.
Neil, let me just interrupt for a second, because this market is dropping precipitously. It just went negative 500. It is now negative 560. It looks, Jim, like it's on its way to negative 600 right now. What is going on in your mind?
Well, I think that there is a concern about the European situation, which may be overdone right now. I mean, these economies are Portugal, Spain, Italy, and Greece combined are relatively minor in the total world spectrum of things. We have the emerging Asian economies that are picking up the slack. And we also should remember that ours is the reserve currency of the world, the U.S. dollar, and that gives us the ability to sin a little bit. Yes, I understand these deficits are alarming at $1 trillion a year, but we are in the midst of recovering from a recession, and tax receipts, both in terms of rate.
Hold on 1 second. We just want to alert our viewers. Of course, they can see it on the screen. The Dow is losing about 653 points at this very moment. A very huge swing today. At one point, we were to the plus side. Of course, the riots have calmed down in Greece, but the markets are having sort of a whiptail effect that is really negative for anybody who is bullish at the moment, although we could argue, Neil Hennessy, that there are ways to make money at the moment. I'm looking at a ticker symbol D as in dog RR, which is the market vector's double short the euro. It's up 3 3/4 points, and now Dow is down 707 points. You could argue things are on sale at the moment. And this was a riot of I don't want to say only 150 people of that crowd, and it seems to be calmed down, but the markets are not buying it. So what does an investor do? Sit tight or move?
Well, the first thing you have to do is calm down, just sit back and look. The market started to take the slide last Friday. It might go through tomorrow. But look, the Greek situation isn't going to hurt IBM's earnings. It's not going to hurt Bristol Myers earnings or Target or Ross Stores or whatever, but people are just now, if we're down 750 points, they're just throwing the baby out with the bathwater. And part of it is the same type of attitude that we saw in March of last year. Just get me out. I don't want to go through this again, because they made some of the money back. But our economy, Liz and David's, is in good shape.
Well, again, it may be in good shape. We do have some problems, of course, jobs chief among them. But look at this market. It continues to slide. Jim, it is now minus 868 right now. The Dow is heading to 900 to the downside. By the way, we shouldn't forget, it's below 10,000 now. It's into, we have a 4-digit market now after having a 5-digit market for a long time. Jim, we should mention also that oil is also taking it on the chin. It's down about 6% right now. So we have now, it's down 900. Again, I don't mean to sound like a broken record here, but this thing just continues to break records, Liz.
Yes, when we began this hour, the Dow was down about 200 points. So we have seen quite a move to the downside. And if you just happen to be tuning in, what had happened was there was a pretty intense Greek protest just outside of the parliament, and the police very effectively dealt with it, but the market is very nervous at this point. You look at gold, it's up $26 now, above the 1,200 mark at 1,200. Crude oil plummeting by now about 6 1/3%. Earlier it was down 3%, and the dollar is surging against the euro, which is now at about a 15-month low.
And we are close to an 1,000-point decline. Elizabeth McDonald, what do you make of it?
Bob Dahl at BlackRock met with him last night. He was talking about how the economic recovery is actually underway, and free cash flow and the balance sheets of the S&P 500 without the financials are coming in powerfully strong. He said free cash flow is it never turned negative. It was actually positive at the bottom of the recession. He'd never seen that before. So he is seeing strong balance sheets and powerful cash flow still pouring into the S&P 500 companies. The problem now is their exposure to Europe and the Eurozone weakness.
We just want to let you know that when the Dow is down this much, which is about 868 points at the moment, we are below 10,000. We just popped back slightly above it. You look at exactly what's going to happen with the actual trading, and I'm just reading from Honig here. Yeah, our guy Bob Honig on the assignment desk is saying circuit breaker points. Now, these represent the thresholds at which trading can be halted market-wide when single-day declines in the Dow Jones Industrials hit certain points. We're not there yet, but a level 1 halt would be about a 1,050-point drop in the Dow Jones Industrials before 2 p.m. We've passed that. Level 2, David, is before 1 p.m. So at this point, I believe we're not going to stop trading.
Well, yeah, after 2:30 there is no halt. There would be a 30-minute halt between 2 and 2:30 in the event of a 1,050-point drop. But between 2:30, after 2:30, there is no halt. So again, as we say that, we should mention that it looked like it was really going very close to the 1,000 mark to the downside, but